on the first few rounds of my Viking horns. These horns are pretty finicky. The first thing is make sure you can do these in a quiet area where you can focus, where you're uninterrupted. That will help you work through, especially the first few rounds, which are pretty important to get right and work it fairly well if you're uninterrupted. First thing, you'll need your yarn, your crochet hook that's noted in the pattern. Today I'm doing working from the 0 to 3 month size, so I have my size F hook. And get a stitch marker. I use a safety pin. It's just really easy to move, and it stays in place fairly well. First thing, round 1 starts with a slip knot. Put it on your hook. When you're working this, make sure you do your stitches tight. Not so tight that you can't get the hook in, but still fairly tight. First thing is chain 2. 1, 2. And then you'll want to single crochet in the first chain right here. Single crochet. And another single crochet. It calls for 3 single crochet. There is 3. Mark this stitch because you're going to work into it later. It just makes it a little bit easier to find the stitch you need to go into. And then 1 more stitch. 1 more single crochet. And then slip stitch in that first single crochet. If you need to count back 1, 2, 3, 4 to the beginning one to find it, do that. Notice my stitches are really tight. It kind of makes it hard, especially these first few rounds, to get into the stitches. Slip stitch. Chain 1, turn, or you can turn and then chain 1. It doesn't really matter. And then single crochet in this first stitch, in the same one you joined in, and then single crochet in that very same one tightly, and then single crochet, or 2 single crochet in the next one, and then slip stitch in the next one. This is your marked one. Keep that marker out of the way. Now turn. This is really tough to work in here. Chain 1. This is round 3. Single crochet in that slip stitch. And then in the next one as well. And then 2 single crochet in the next stitch. I know it's kind of hard to see because it's white. And the stitches are kind of tiny. And then single crochet in the next 2. 1, 2. Should look something like this, kind of a fan shaped. This last bit brings you to the end of the previous row. Now you see these stitches from round 1 right here. We're going to work in those. This is still round 3 we're working on. So insert your hook in this unworked stitch from the first round. Pull it tight. Bring up a loop. And then insert your hook in this marked stitch. Yarn over, bring up a loop. Now you may want to pull that marker out right about now. Set it aside. Yarn over, bring through all of them. Now it kind of looks funny. And then join with the first stitch of this round, which is right here. Pull it tight. Now, you know what, actually I'm going to undo this one just temporarily so that I can flip this to the other side, because this is the right side I'm working here. And then redo that slip stitch, sorry. There we go. Those are the first 3 rounds. You have kind of a lump. Alright, that's the end of round 3. Round 4, do not turn. This is really important. Oh, whoops. I goofed. Not slip stitch. Single crochet in that first stitch. This is the start of round 4. Single crochet in that first stitch of round 3. 2 single crochet in the next one. 2 single crochet in the next stitch, and 2 single crochet, 1, 2 in this one, and single crochet in the next 1, 2, 1 and 2, and then slip stitch here. This stitch that we're slip stitching into, you can kind of see, I know it's kind of hard on the video, this is the stitch that was the last stitch of round 3. That one that was a decrease kind of stitch. Slip stitch in that one. That should be the last stitch of round 4. Now this is usually where I start marking the beginning of each round. So round 5 starts slip stitch in the next one. I usually do my slip stitches a little bit loose to make them easier to get into on the next row. There's the first slip stitch of round 5, and then I mark it. It just makes it easier to make sure that you're getting each round correctly. Single crochet in the next 2, 1, 2, and then 2 single crochet in the next one, 2, single crochet, let me find it, single crochet in the next 3, 1, 2, 3, and then slip stitch in the next 2. Again, I do my slip stitches ever so slightly looser. 1, 2, and that's the end of round 5. You can see the horn kind of taking shape here. And then we'll do round 6, which is slip stitch in the next 3. 1, mark that first stitch, 2, 3, and then single crochet in the next one. This is where it starts to get easier. And 1, 2 in the next one, and then 1, and then 2 in the next one, single crochet in the next one, and then slip stitch here, and then single crochet. There's the beginning of it. The rest is really quite a bit simpler. I always mark that first row or first stitch of the row. Otherwise, I tend to lose my place. Even doing these so many times, I still lose my place. I always mark it. The first part of this horn is really quite a bit harder than the rest. The rest you should be able to figure out on your own.